Hello, I'm Laura McHarrie at The Hidden Edge with another tea break tip of business models and tools to help you manage your growing business. Today we're looking at facilitation and Seifert's moderation model. The importance of group work or teamwork is often overlooked and undervalued, particularly by groups whose focus is on results at the expense of process. Inattention to process may lead to weakened or strained relationships between group members, and therefore a decline in its effectiveness. Collaboration requires full participation. Like a good democracy, it requires hearing many voices, using group problem-solving exercises, sharing learning, peer-to-peer learning, visioning, and decision-making. So how do we facilitate all of that? Well, let's first take a look at Steve Davis's Venn diagram. At the centre of this diagram, we have full participation. And in order to get full participation, we need to inspire, incite, and invite people to participate. The 3 I's that Davis has illustrated ensures that you get access to the full wisdom and knowledge available in the room. Often, those who are the most quiet have the most to say, as they tend to be the more observant and sometimes more objective about what's going on in a group. So we do need to look at the environment, the emotional, the mental, and the physical environment. Physically, it's important to provide various activities that engage participants so as to accommodate different learning styles: visual, oral, and kinesthetic. Participants must be given the opportunity to participate in ways that work for them. They may need time to share their observations and experience and use different formats: verbal, drawing, large group discussions, small group brainstorms. The environment needs to be physically comfortable and conducive to the participation that you're aiming for. People do need some space to be able to mentally think. Mentally, it can be useful to present new information that has some relationship to what's already familiar to the group. Inviting participants to share where they are already is easy for them to do, and it gives them a sense of their starting point. Strive to make your activities and presentations interesting, compelling, and provocative so as to stimulate people. Boredom can be a problem, so you need to vary the pace, and vary those visual, auditory, and kinesthetic activities. Emotionally, it's clear that people will participate only to the level that they feel safe in doing so. Trust and safety have arguably the largest impact on the level of participation. You need to build trust gradually, interjecting increasingly risky but relevant activities as that trust increases. If relevance is not apparent during the initial phases of an activity, its objectives and purposes should be explained and agreed upon at the start and get that buy-in from the group. So how do we manage all of that? This is Joseph W. Seifert's moderation cycle. It's a structured model. Seifert identifies 6 steps dividing the working time of group into certain sections. The planning aspect has already been taken into consideration, ensuring that the seating arrangements are open, physical barriers removed, and the facilitation tools and exercises have been prepared, are appropriate, and are ready to go. So we start with the introduction. The project meeting kicks off with an introduction. This is the time to allow delegates to settle down, to review the purpose of the meeting, and to sort out any misunderstandings. gather topics. Here we gather the participants' thoughts on the items that have been raised and that ought to be on the agenda for discussion. Selecting the topics. This is where we agree the priorities based on urgent and important that work to the purpose of the meeting and make a decision as to which of those topics will be talked about first. Exploring the topics. Here we discuss those using appropriate group exercises. You might note that I use many in my how-to tutorials. Action planning comes next. Record the actions that have been agreed, determine a target date for completion, and who will take responsibility. Make sure that this is distributed not only to the delegates, but their line managers too. And in conclusion, reflect on the meeting, honour success and recognise opportunities for improvement another time. These principles can be applied to any size of facilitated collaboration, online as well as in real life. You may need to think a bit more laterally in larger groups, how you agree the agenda and facilitate the group exercises. Splitting a large group into small groups of 6 and nominating or they're nominating a spokesperson might resolve that problem. Use the templates to consider how you facilitate group discussions and request the templates from the Hidden Edge website. Share your facilitation stories there too. It's good to talk. So until next tea break time, enjoy the rest of this one.